Well, good morning. How you doing? Good afternoon, whatever it is. Welcome back to my channel. I am George Lawfrey, and this is where you figure out what my opinion is about these movies for the time being. Anyway, so we're going to talk about, yeah, we're not going to talk about that yet. What I need you to do is subscribe, like, make this a worthwhile channel. Maybe I won't change. Maybe I'll just get more into it. Subscribe, like, go visit the website, all that fun stuff. That way we can make sure that you get all the answers you need, and you'll be able to find out what I'm actually thinking about over on the blog. I should do a blog about all the workplace problems I've been having, since none of my YouTube channels are making any money. But, I haven't done that yet. It should be able to be, that's probably going to be 15 or 20 pages long, because there's a lot going on those last 3 months. Anyway, so this is probably going to be a late July movie release, or earlier July. I don't know. I'll have to figure out what the release date is. Oh, May 6, 2022. I had it wrote down in my notes. That's pretty good. So anyway, I got to move some things around here, so let me sit forward. We are going to talk about Cowboys and Aliens. I just got to get to the right place on the on the computer, because I'm not showing you my computer screen right now. I know how to do that, but I'm not going to do that right now. So our movie is Cowboys and Aliens, a science fiction western, action, little romance. They got all kinds of aliens involved in this. They got Harrison Ford and Daniel Craig, which is the current James Bond. It's current James Bond, even though they released that sad James Bond recently. But yeah, he's the current James Bond. So this story is, I think it's based on a book. Let me see. It's written by the screenplay. Yeah, it's not going to tell me. I don't have it written down. If it's written down, I don't have it. So basically what happened is Harrison Ford, they've got Harrison Ford as a rancher in this movie, and he controls a town, and he's got a kid that causes problems all the time, and, he's always defending him to the point of causing problems himself. Then outside of this little town, I can't remember the name of the town. It's been such a long time since I'm having to redo these, because my computer screwed up and destroyed several movie reviews, so I'm just trying to make those back up. Do those again. It's not telling me where it came from. Anyway, so, I don't know the name of the little town. Nope, it's not on there. Not that I can see real quick. Anyway, so our star, the old Bond character, I don't know what to call him. I guess I do. Okay, Daryl Craig wakes in the desert. That's how they start it. He wakes up in the desert all alone, not remember what things, basically thinking he's wounded, got shot. A couple of cowboys run up on him, thought he was Jake Lauder. That's what they call him, so we'll just call him Jake. Anyway, they find Jake out in the hills, and they were gonna, cowboys the way they are, they were gonna turn him in for the reward or turn him in for to see if he's a bad guy. And little do they know that he's a expert killer in the movie because he used to run a gang. So he ends up, even though he didn't have any memory, he ends up beating the two guys up and knocking them out, taking their horse, their gear, and their dogs. He gets himself a gun, clothes, boots from these guys, and he rides into the little town. And just standing around town, and the sheriff doesn't really recognize him, or does, and doesn't really know what to do with him right at the moment. He finds a preacher to help him stitch up his wound. Then they damn nose stitching. It feels like I got a piece of hair twinkling in there. You know how that goes. Anyway, so the kid starts shooting up the bar because the owner wants him to pay money from the outside. He's shooting up the upstairs because he doesn't think anybody's up there. He causes all kinds of problems. Then when Jake doesn't get scared, he's standing over watching. He starts telling him off. Causing problems, and he doesn't move. He just keeps leaning against the post, and this kid shoots off someplace else to try to scare him because the kid's not a killer, and ends up shooting one of the deputies, gets arrested. So does Jake, because he's a wanted felon for robbing stagecoaches and other things. It's kind of funny that how they did that. You know, he's a bad guy, he's a good guy at the same time. Then this is when they introduce the aliens, because they're going to take Jake and the rancher's son, Harrison Ford's son, to the provost marshal to stand trial for what they've done, so they can put in jail. And Daddy comes into town to try to bribe the sheriff or talk the sheriff into not taking the kid. And he wasn't going to until they get attacked by an alien ship. That's the funny part. So they end up taking a bunch of the citizens from the town, including the son of the rancher. So they put together a hunting party, a tracking party. Jake goes on his own, and then ends up later with the whole group. The woman, there's a woman that tags along, and she's one of an alien from a different planet, according to the movie. And they end up tracking the aliens. They end up in a upside down boat when it rains. A whole bunch of cattle get destroyed someplace in the early part of the movie, and 2 or 3 guys get killed, and one guy gets blown off his feet with his pants down into the river, which is kind of funny. I mean, they don't call this a comedy, but I call it a comedy. It is funny. They call it an action-adventure cowboys and aliens type thing, but this is actually good. So he ends up with his little metal bracelet shooting down the alien ship after he figures out how to use it, and then the hunting party succeeds. And I'm going off task again here. I got kind of lost in my own thoughts, and I got off script because I jumped over a paragraph. Anyway, so as they're tracking this down, they ended up in an upside down paddle boat, which is kind of interesting. Then one of the alien they're tracking tries to take shelter in the same paddle boat, which turns out to be kind of interesting, that part too. Then the next day they continue tracking. Then as they're getting closer, one of the other alien ships takes Jake's, well, what it looks like girlfriend, the woman that he's interested in anyway. Allison, I think they called her. Anyway, she gets hooked up by this machine, getting ready to be taken back to the mothership or the ship, and then they reveal the whole reason why they came to the planet is to mine it for its precious resources like gold. And that's why Jake starts to remember, and that's why his wife got killed, and that's why he ended up where he was at, because he was in the ship after they coax him to remember. They run into a bunch of Indians. The Indians take them back to their camp after the ride on the alien spaceship. Jake jumps the ship, blows it apart, gets the girl back. She gets hurt by the monster coming out of the water. Then when they meet the Indians, they pronounce her dead, and she gets thrown on the fire. Then, I don't know, about 20 minutes more into the movie, she walks out of the fire alive. Then explains where she come from and who she is and all that stuff to the Indians, and it turns out she can actually talk their language. It turns out to be a pretty interesting movie. Getting closer to the end of the movie, they find the mothership. They figure out how to get inside of it. They try to blow the landing bay up. Jake ends up having a fight with the alien that he escaped from because it had a scar down its face because of the laser tool that he was using. They find a light that they want to stand and stare at. Then they fight with the aliens, Cowboys and Indians style. But the Cowboys and the Indians are working together this time, which is strange to see, but it's funny. Anyway, so they do that, and then as the ship takes off, it blows up in midair, and then while that's going on, they're reuniting with their lost long because Jake gets them out. And, it's pretty close to where they ended after they reunite and meet each other, tell who each other. Then they tell Jake that he died in the alien thing, on the mothership. And he's a free man. They're not going to prosecute him, because he's dead. So I suggest you go get this movie however you do and watch it, because I'm giving it a full star rating, 6 stars. Then, let's see, where did this thing come from? It was Universal Pictures, North America, It came out in July 2019, July 29th. 2011. It's 118 minutes long. Ooh, long one. A little over 2 hours. It was English, it originated in the United States. The budget to make this thing was high. It was $163 million. And they didn't make too much over their budget when they box office. They made $174.8 million. So not bad. But they could have done better if they had done better picture advertisement. Made it look like a monster flick than anything else. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get out of this one, and we'll get the next one on the way. And whether you see it, tomorrow or next week, either way, I hope you come back and watch. Anyway, so we'll see you again, and we'll talk to you when we on the next one. Bye now.